Oh, George had his sunglasses on.
We're back.
I hate it.
I love it. I even had like the camera focus on the hands this time. It's like we're getting good at this, boys. This is gonna be 9.5. We're almost at 10.5.
Who'd have thought?
I know, right? I thought this was gonna fall apart just immediately. I thought we were gonna
get like 2 or 3 at most.
Yeah.
That's the expectation I had too.
Honestly, and we're like I feel like we've cut down. You know, used to take us what felt like eternity to get all this set up and get to the point where we could actually record something. Now we all look professional for the most part. I don't know. We're in this thing, aren't we? Mason's got us set up on Spotify and like all these other podcasting places.
Apple.
Where are we set up, Mason? Tell the people.
So we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon Music, and we're on Apple Podcast.
And
Amazon Music is a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing.
And we're all under Brown Bear Podcast?
Yep.
Don't you work for Amazon?
Yeah, I do. AWS. Yeah.
Difference.
I had to bleep that out. Beep. Anyway, Flick, what's the story, man?
Like and subscribe.
That is
on all of those. On all of them, it's just like and subscribe and comment, and then like and then subscribe again.
Yeah, I feel like our little draft thing, that little format, actually worked out pretty well, huh?
Listen, I'm an ideas guy. That's what I do. It might not be fully fleshed out, but I'll get you a good base if you just give me a little bit of what you're looking for. I'm ideas.
Well, I think it was fun for us, but like it was relatively engaging too. I feel like people were.
Yeah.
We had some comments. We had 2 whole comments on our video.
So far.
We have 6 comments on there right now, actually.
Do we really?
Yeah, look.
Stop it. Really?
All people we know.
I believe so, yes.
Hey, that's fine.
But that's all right. Interaction, man. Interaction.
I'm telling you. So Flick, the draft, man. Has your heart healed?
No. No. What do you mean?
Just like, you know what made it worse? Okay, sorry, we're all from the state of Georgia, so we're talking about the Falcons for a second. So the Falcons obviously drafted Michael Penix, we just signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year deal for 180 or 160, whatever it was, million. 180. We then get Michael Penix at 8, which we desperately needed anything on the defensive side of the ball. But we're just, let's get another quarterback because, that's what we want. And then to make matters worse, we get the defensive lineman from Clemson, which we traded up for, and he was like the 35th best eligible player at that time that was left. And
damn! I didn't even see the second. I didn't watch the second picks and all.
So none of it made sense. No, none of it.
So what do you think? What do you think they were like? What do you think they were gaming for? Like, why do that?
They saw 1 year of Marcus Mariota and another year of Desmond Ridder, and they said, "I never want to go without a fucking quarterback again." At the detriment to the rest of the team.
I guess this is all still fallout from Matt Ryan, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
this is just what we're dealing with.
Bad Ryan's fault, though.
No, it's not his fault. I'm just saying this is the fallout from him being done or not being there anymore.
Who did retire this week? So shout out Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
He retired like the day after he did the podcast. That was sad for me.
Still don't know if it's the worst pick in the draft, though.
Oh, no. It's. I know where you're going to go with this, Rob. It's potentially the worst draft pick of all time. It has like I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. And let me. I want to get the record straight because I actually like Michael Penix a lot. Like, I would have had zero problem with the Falcons drafting him. I would have loved drafting him at 8 without Kirk Cousins, but it's the whole Kirk Cousins things. It's like, granted,
I don't think Penix is even.
We can get out of the Cousin deal in 2 years, But they like what's annoying me is how the franchise is talking about it, and it's like, oh yeah, he could sit for 4 or 5 years. Like, that's one of the biggest benefits of having a rookie quarterback is the contract, because you have to pay your quarterback, and if he's good, you have to pay him. Yeah. So we're going to pay $20 million over 4 years, and then have an option for a 5th year for a guy who hopefully he'll play in 2 years, and I don't know, but like they want
him to play in 2 years though.
Potentially, yeah. I mean,
Kirk Cousins is on the older side, and I get that, but like I want him to be our starter for at least 2, probably 3 years, though.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. With the NFL, you kind of have to look in 2 to 3 year windows, and then you also have to, except for quarterback, you kind of have to look even longer for there. But there's just something. Like they're talking about like the whole Rodgers and Jordan Love situation. And I was like, well, first off, they were in the NFC Championship the year before.
Right.
They were drafting in the late 20s, which is a whole lot different than pick number 8. Like a whole lot different. Like if you don't know anything about the NFL, the first 10 picks are worth a lot more than picks 20 through 30.
Well, if we got Penix at like 23, we would be like, you know what? That's fine. Like
I've been a lot more okay with it. A lot more okay with it.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's just no matter how he has to end up being really good for like. And what's the worst part is like, again, I like Michael Penix.
We're not going to know though.
We're not going to know, which is very frustrating. But also, it's like if you're going to do this, you should do this for a guy that Rob's probably going to talk about in a second. I'd rather them do it for this specific situation, draft JJ McCarthy there because he's only 21 and he's like like Michael Penix is 24 or he'll be 24 in like a week or two.
He's got 2 bad knees and a bad shoulder.
Yeah. He'll be 26, 27. He'll be 26 minimum before he is a full-time starter and outside of injury. I was at Joey's house and I legitimately wanted to throw up after that pick because I was like,
God, that Instagram video I sent you, Flick, that shit had me cracking up because I just like that's what I imagined you being like.
I
saw that. Just
I was at Joey's house and Adam Schefter comes up on the screen and says they are potentially drafting a quarterback. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I started standing up because I was like, I just can't deal with this. And they say it, and I was sick for 30 plus minutes. Like I'm not kidding. I wanted to. What doesn't help is it just. For some reason, I feel like, granted, the Falcons do a lot of it to themselves, but other like the media doesn't like the Falcons for some reason. Like it's always like the whole Lamar Jackson situation. Like they always bring that up in Atlanta's face. Like Atlanta's the only team that could have traded for him, even though no team was going to trade for him because the Ravens were going to sign him no matter what. So why would we try to help the Ravens? Like he was never going to come to the Falcons, never. But Atlanta continues to get picked on about that whole situation for some reason, and then now we're just giving people more ammunition. I can literally talk about how much this pisses me off for the next 2 hours.
Shit, keep it going. Let's ride, boy.
I been a better pick, dude.
No, any defensive lineman would have been
me.
A better pick. Dallas Turner would have been the Latu kid would have been. I mean, like anyway.
That's who I wanted. I wanted that guy. Yeah, Latu kid I think is gonna be really good.
Can we take a moment? We can always come back to the Falcons because there's enough. Okay, go ahead.
I have to say something. This is not about the Falcons. This is about this whole entire draft, the first round that just happened.
Well, that's where I was going. So
they took 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks.
That's what I was about to say, and I don't like any of them.
I don't think any of them are good. Caleb Williams might be good.
With that.
Caleb Williams may be good.
Caleb Williams
he's gonna be okay.
Walking into the best situation a number 1 quarterback has walked into in a long time. It's
right.
gonna be hard for him not to be decent.
Yeah, but is he really that good?
He is a diva.
He is a diva.
He's never beat anybody with a pulse.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, and any good defense he's gotten. I mean, this year was like especially bad. Any good defense he played. Well, I say this year, last year. Any like good defensive team, or he struggled really bad and made stupid decisions. Brett Favre type triple coverage type shit.
You're right. But he
Even though I
does
love
have
Brett Favre.
he has the
Sorry.
physical attributes to be great, and I just don't. I mean, like he is such a diva. I don't know if he's got the mind to be great. But
It's so weird.
I'll be the first person to tell you if he goes and balls out, and in the next couple of years becomes all pro and all that shit. Like I'll say I was wrong. But the fact that we have, I mean, like Bo Nix. I mean, like Bo Nix
I
got
know.
drafted, and Bo. I mean, like
He's what,
I watched
13?
Bo Nix play 4 years
No,
at Auburn,
that was
and
rough.
he repeatedly made dumbass decision after
probably
dumbass decision
12.
after dumbass decision, and I'm like, dude, like, are you watching the same Bo Nix as me? Like, he went to Oregon, like, oh, he had the best pass percentage, completion percentage in the NCAA history. And it's like, okay, he also didn't throw a pass over 10 yards. It's like, I mean, like, they didn't play nobody with a pulse. They're in that freaking Pac-12. Like, get the fuck out of here.
It's like when Bo Nick and Flick, we've talked about this, so I know you kind of like, I think there's parts of it you agree with, but mostly you disagree with, like us, how we feel about Bo Nix and his last years at Oregon. But like, to me, it just feels like everybody forgot about the fact that Bo Nix just was a trash bag at Auburn and just like could make zero strides and then got smoked by a Georgia team at the beginning of the season 2 years ago. It's like we just forgot about that, and then it was like, oh, well, he's playing high school teams in Pac-12 and he's great. It's like I don't get that.
I mean, didn't beat Penix. I mean, played
Pac-12
Penix.
was good last year.
Do what?
Pac-12 was good last year. Like they were a good conference last year.
I mean,
We also-
say that,
I think-
but they like in like top to bottom, the bottom was terrible, and the top teams were like, okay, they had
Oregon, who lost to Washington twice, and then you had who? You had UCLA, not UCLA. Oregon State. Oregon State was A. You had not Washington.
Washington
State,
was good. Washington was very good.
Yeah, well, yeah, they came in second. I mean, they were not a
Well,
bad team.
yeah.
I'm not denying that, but I'm saying, but like Bo Nix lost both games he played versus them. They did beat Utah, I believe.
Didn't one of those games?
then-
They were winning, and then Washington scored on the last drive
No, well,
because it was like 37-34, wasn't it? I want to say
that was
Which
that was
game?
the first game
the
they
first
lost.
one.
The first game they lost was kind of some
First game
coaching
wasn't
decisions.
Bo Nix's fault that they
Was
lost.
some coaching. I
Yeah.
agree, but still, though, I mean, like he never ever won a big game, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
like, I mean, like all these people, like
Oh
JJ
my
McCarthy.
God, this man is eating a sub on stream. What is
I haven't
wrong
even-
with this
I
guy?
haven't even talked about
at
JJ McCarthy.
8:30 in the morning.
Just
It's 8:30.
that may be
your
one of the
time.
funniest things that's
What
happened.
the fuck?
He didn't try to dip his head off or anything. He leaned into the camera and took a big slug of a sub. Are you kidding me? We're talking football here. This man is acting like Jared.
I need the chat to
Are you
clip
kidding
that.
me? Are you? I won't let. Oh, is this a Hungry Howie sub?
Is that a
Jersey Mike's? Unbelievable. Tell me
Show us the sub, Mason.
How
Show
many
us the
days
sub.
old is that? I've got to know because nobody goes to Jersey Mike's at 8 o'clock in the
Jersey
morning.
Mike's isn't open right now.
It's from yesterday.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was the funniest thing ever.
This man is eating a day old sub at 8 o'clock in the morning
day-old subs
on
are
the
fun.
podcast.
Day-old subs are fun.
It's just the way it was just perfect.
How-
Everything
how
about that. No notes, just perfection.
How
Like, that was
soggy?
pure cinema.
How soggy is that bread?
It's not at all.
Bro, if you put it in the refrigerator, it's fine.
I put it in the fridge.
Yeah, it's fine.
Is there any sauce on it, like or mayo or anything?
Was this
I don't
Okay.
was this planned? Did you go to Jersey Mike's yesterday and go, give me 2 of those because I'm gonna eat one for breakfast tomorrow? No, kinda.
I love that you just did the exact opposite of Justin last episode, who kept just like every
Justin's over here like it's just like
looked like he's sucking a dude off every 30 seconds.
We're gonna have to have
I didn't want that.
We're gonna have to have a top 10 food moments on the podcast, I guess.
I will say this though, not to go back or anything. That was great, Mason. But I didn't even talk about JJ McCarthy. Like this dude, like they never asked him to go win a game. Period. Like I just went back and looked at his stats, like for the Big Ten, like not even like against the shitty opponents he played. Like he averaged like I don't know. I want to say it was like 22 passes a game
Like, sure, he didn't have any. I think he had one interception in he had one game versus a no-name, like, non-Big Ten team that he had 3 interceptions, and he went 8 of 13 and had 3 interceptions. And that's the dude we're going to draft number 10 or number 11 or whatever it was.
The disrespect. The disrespect.
No, but I mean, like, JJ McCarthy, and like, this is, I'm a Georgia homer. Everybody knows that. But like, Stetson Bennett had 8 million, like, everything he did was better than JJ McCarthy. And
That's
he's a
the
fourth
disrespect
rounder.
I'm talking about. That's the disrespect I'm talking about.
I would have rather taken 8 million different quarterbacks before I would ever draft JJ McCarthy.
But you could on the counter side, which I would never argue this, but on the counter side, I guess they could be just betting on JJ's youth.
That's exactly what they're doing, because he does have some of those intangibles, or the raw, like he's got the potential, but he hasn't earned the number 11 pick.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
10.
I don't think he's going to necessarily be bad, or I don't think he's really going to be that good either. Like, he's a good project, which is why I would have been fine. I would have felt better about the Falcons drafting him, even though I like Penix more than JJ.
Yeah, but I think
pick 11's insane.
JJ should have been like
10.
a 3rd or 4th rounder.
Oh, I thought it was.
He's number 10 to the Vikings.
Oh, they traded up. That's right.
Traded up, yeah.
You think that's even worse? A team traded up to get him.
They traded up one spot.
Yeah, and no one was going to pick JJ McCarthy. I mean, I guess they may have, but like,
No, I think
it hurts my soul, man. Like,
it's weird.
These GMs nowadays must be freaking idiots.
At the end of the day, I don't necessarily blame them to the extent of, like, in the NFL, it's a quarterback league. It's beyond a quarterback league. Like, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance. And
100% agree.
If you don't find one, and like next year's class on paper doesn't look great. Granted,
I think it's better than this class.
I know.
This class is terrible.
This class is really good. This is a really good quarterback class.
I disagree wholeheartedly. When Bo Nix is your 6th best quarterback.
I was about to say, we just spent
JJ McCarthy
talking about Bo Nix and JJ
is
McCarthy.
QB 6 in this draft.
That's what I just said.
Who would be QB 6 in next year's draft?
Well, I haven't done any research into it, so I don't know. But I mean, like,
well, then why did you say it was?
But I'm just saying, nothing could. Like, I think this is going to be the worst class ever. Is what I'm getting at.
I think that has the potential, just because there's a lot more reaches, so there's a lot more room for error. But that doesn't necessarily mean, I think, if you're basing like the first round quarterbacks from this year to first round quarterbacks next year, it's going to be almost impossible not to be better on paper, because there's no way all 6 are good. But when you look from really the guys that last long, like the top 2 or 3 guys from this draft, will end up being better than next year's draft, I'd bet. That's kind of what I mean by that.
I think it could really. I mean, I guess I'm biased to like totally just disregard Michael Penix. I just don't think he's that good. But I think largely, to me, it just depends on how Caleb Williams and JJ turn out. Like, if both of those guys end up being really good in the NFL, then
but what about Jayden Daniels? I mean, like, is he going to be good?
I think so. I think
you're gonna have to reprogram him, though, because he tried to get killed in college, and he will get killed in the NFL.
I don't know.
I mean, like we saw him get helicoptered multiple times.
Yeah. What's
Internet's acting funny.
Who, mine or Flicks?
No, Flicks.
Okay.
Well, I think he's coming back though.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah. I think Jayden Daniels, an interesting topic of discussion. He's somewhere in the middle for me. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. You know what? I take that back. I think he's good. I think that I agree with you, Rob. He's got to be reprogrammed, because he's had to like make attempts to just carry that team. But he was pretty good at just straight carrying that team. So like, there's pros and cons to, I guess, that approach, but I don't know.
I just think his running ability is going to be drastically taken down a notch, because he doesn't have that elite speed like Lamar Jackson did, Michael Vick did. I'm not saying he's not fast, because I think he ran. What did he run in the? What did he run like a 4.5, 4.6? What was it, Mason? Or
Yeah, didn't he run for over 1,000 this year?
No, he did. That's
He's
not.
talking about
That's
his 40.
That's what was his 40.
Yeah, I don't remember his 40, but yeah. I think you're right.
Jaden.
I don't know. He just.
I'm fine with him running a little bit less because he's still got a really good arm. Like he can throw the ball. He can sling it fucking anywhere.
He's got to
the way the way the NFL is moving, where they're wanting to get the quarterback more and more out of the pocket and making more kind of read style plays. It makes like he fits today's NFL better than, like, for example, when they drafted like RG3, 10, 15 years ago now. If he cuts down his running, I think he's going to be really good.
Well,
he'll be forced to.
Be less hurt.
Yeah, he'll be forced to. I don't know. I think I have nothing against Jaden Daniels. The only argument I ever had with him, which we don't even have to talk about it, but I just don't think somebody who loses that many games deserves to win a Heisman.
I mean, that's
sorry.
I think it's that. I mean,
I know. I got it. I understand. I
don't know who you put up there though else, because I mean, like,
I know. I understand. I get the argument.
Should Penix have won, I guess, technically, because I mean he was the only one that,
like, the Heisman.
Yeah.
No, I mean it was Jaden Daniels by a country mile to me.
But I mean,
I'm with you on that, Flick. That's what I agree to.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with basically all the arguments for Jaden Daniels. I just think you should be, like, disqualified if you're. How many games they lose last year? 3, 4,
3.
3. Like,
they lost to, they lost to.
Imagine
FSU.
if they don't have him.
They lost to Bama and they lost to Ole Miss, which I mean, all three of those teams are top 10 teams. So I mean,
but tell me, so yeah, I don't know. I just think it's fucking. I think it's skewed. I don't know how exactly to articulate why it's.
It's skewed towards the quarterback, but
that's very.
The Heisman isn't.
I know that
shouldn't be necessarily a wins thing. Like, wins somewhat matter. Like, you can't put a fucking 3-9 guy up there. I think I agree to an extent.
But it feels like it used to carry a lot more weight, though, right? I mean,
but that doesn't necessarily mean it was right.
I think the Heisman should be the most valuable player.
Yeah,
and it's not right now. Now it's just kind of like a stat grab. Because I mean, like, Jaden Daniels, sure, his stats were unbelievable, but I mean, like, you take away, like, some of his games versus no name teams that he played, his stats aren't that good. And so it's like, I mean, like, excuse me, that's not true. They are good, but they're not like Heisman level stuff. I mean, like, he had one game, he had like 8 touchdowns, but it was versus like Army or somebody like that. And it's like, that's great and all. And he, ran for over 200 yards and had 8 touchdown passes or something like that. And it's like, that's a phenomenal game, but you're also not playing a great team. Like, I mean, if you're doing this, like, consistently versus good teams, then, like, absolutely. But when you're playing, and, like, sure, he probably had good numbers versus Ole Miss because that was a shootout. But, like, besides that, he didn't put up good numbers versus good teams, I guess.
You're just saying it normalizes. But I would, the only argument I would have against that is just, like, most of the time, the competition in the Heisman has gone through the same degree of competition. Like, there's just a bunch of games where people can stat pad
but also they're like their coach, what's the coach at LSU? Brian Kelly literally, like, kept him in games, like, didn't take him out just to stat pad him. Like, and like he came out and, like, said that. And so it's
I can't stand Brian Kelly.
Sorry. Oh, I can't either. So I mean, like, just like when you're stat padding just so he can try to win a Heisman,
he's an asshole. He's also a good coach.
I don't credit that. So I don't know. I just think it's you need more value. You need more criteria for the Heisman.
Go ahead, Flick. You're about to
just
drop
for the argument of no, because I'm trying to look up, like, what his stats were each game, but I'm struggling a little bit there. I was looking up first. The 3 games they lost were, again, top 10 teams, 45 points the defense gave up, 55, and then 42.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to win games like that.
No,
that's why wins are all. I get what you're saying, but they're like,
I'm not
it'd be different if, like, they just did nothing in those games.
I'm not arguing that, but it just seems like
Florida State game wasn't great.
I know, but I mean, he also got hurt in the Alabama game too. So like, you can't really. Because I think they lost like what was it, 28-42? Was that the final score?
I would just saw the screen, but I think you're right.
All I'm saying, and I understand. I got it. I get how it works.
It was either 28-42 or 24. Sorry.
It's not that big of a. I mean, this doesn't matter. But it's just my opinion. I think that win stat doesn't carry enough weight. It's me. That's me. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I think it already carries too much.
Really? Why?
It's because it's an individual award.
Yeah, but you could argue
And
that. Go ahead. Finish.
It carries weight, but like it shouldn't. It shouldn't deter like everything, because at the end of the day, like Jaden Daniels is a perfect example because of how bad their defense was last year. Like a lot of times, like yeah, they definitely stat padded, but also there's times like they didn't really have a choice because their defense couldn't stop fucking anything. Like it should matter. It shouldn't be like a 6-win person isn't important enough. But they won 9 games. They were in pretty much every game except for the Florida State game, which is they were just terrible that game. But outside of that, like you only can play as good as you are. You're only playing half the game.
Agree. I get it. I just think that this year's a weird one because there's nobody else. Like there's probably
That's been
nobody
the
else that
last
you could really
couple of
argue.
years. It feels like.
But I think that the really, really great players, they just have a way. They just figure it out. They win. They win games. They it's an intangible. You can't measure it, but they get the entire team to be better. The entire team, not just one side of the ball. They get the entire team to be better. And that's my opinion. I think that's why I think that wins should carry a little more weight. He lost 3 games. We're not talking about one game. He's
yeah.
They can't. No, I disagree with that. I will go on the record and disagree with that because on the field, maybe like in that game, in that moment, maybe the quarterback can't have as much of an impact. But over the course of the year and years that a quarterback and a leader is on the team, in the weight room, out on the practice field, having conversations with players, motivating people, the greats do have the ability to make people better, make people work harder. I think that's a fact.
You can make them better, but if they're not good enough, it doesn't matter. Like you may be better, but they're still not the best.
But okay, so the 3 games that LSU lost, what was the point difference in those games?
I got it right here. So they lost to Ole Miss by 6.
They lost to Ole Miss because I was just looking at this. They lost
to Bama by 2 touchdowns, and then they lost to Florida State by 21. 3 touchdowns.
Florida State game was terrible.
Okay.
But also the Ole Miss game, they lost on Ole Miss scored a touchdown with 39 seconds left.
Okay, the only game that I'll concede that I think anything within 1 touchdown, I'll say a touchdown's worth of.
Well, you have Ole Miss.
Like the other 2 games, no way.
Well,
no way.
He got hurt in the Alabama game, though, right?
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I got
Dallas
you.
Turner
But
took him out with a concussion.
Yeah.
I got you. I know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying no.
So you can't like my thing is you can't necessarily fault him as much there, like because he.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Again, this is not about. This is not about in the.
It's the Florida State game.
It's not about in the moment. It's not about in that game. I'm talking about making a team better overall over the course of the year. Like good leaders have the ability to do that. But I won't say. I will definitely not go out there and be like Jaden Daniels is going to make up 3 touchdowns worth of a difference.
Yeah, but Jaden Daniels also
as a leader, like no way.
Had a top 3 wide receiver in the country with Malik Neighbors, and another guy, receiver had go.
Yeah, but what Heisman?
They were electric.
What Heisman winner doesn't have good players around them?
Herschel Walker.
Rob's digging in his bag. We had to dig up a grave to get that one.
He didn't have anybody around him, but
No, but it's funny though. I mean, I'm looking back at stats for Jane Daniels, and like look right here, like Jane Daniels or LSU played Georgia State like the last game of the season or something like that, and they won 56-14, and Jane Daniels is fucking throwing passes in the fourth fucking quarter. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude! You're beating someone by 40, and we're throwing passes in the fourth quarter. Really? Like, that's what we're doing right now? That's a joke.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I really can't argue against him being the Heisman.
I think he should have been the Heisman. I think he was the best player like in the league last year. But like I just think it's a joke that we're throwing we're throwing touchdowns here in the fourth quarter and shit like that. Like, I mean, it's just kind of like there's a lot of games he didn't be playing just for sake of injury and whatnot, and he was the stat pattern for the Heisman. Which, I mean, great. He should have won the Heisman no matter what.
It's the only thing they can win this year.
You're right. But
anyway, we rabbit holed into college football somehow. That's my fault. I think I was arguing about the Heisman. So what are the so we talked a little bit about the Falcons in the draft, but like what about the other top 10, top 20 picks? Like, anybody else really surprising?
The 1 through 7 kind of went how most people expected for the most part. And then the Falcons caused chaos.
Sure did.
And then, they Roma Tuesday went to Chicago, which I actually like that pick. And then it went JJ, some tackle from Penn State, and then Bo Nix, and then Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers' pick is kind of crazy, too, because they literally just drafted a first-round guy last year. I love Brock Bowers.
I think
him.
I
but
think
it's not a good pick by the Raiders.
I think the Raiders got screwed because I firmly believe they thought there was going to be a quarterback on the board, and
they thought one of those 3 guys that got just taken were 100. They were going to draft one of them.
That's what they wanted, and they wanted a QB, and they legitimately got screwed because of these people. Just I don't know. So I mean, and Brock Bowers is a good pick. I mean, I think he's probably was the most NFL ready guy out of the whole entire draft. And so, but at the same time, like Bowers is not in the NFL, Bowers is not going to be your true tight end guy that's going to be able to stop these defensive edge guys. Cause I mean, like these defensive edge guys are going to be massive. And I know Brock Bowers is a big dude and whatnot, but like, he's not, your extra offensive tackle.
You're talking about blocking? You're talking about
blocking? And blocking. And so
but he's not a block. He's more of a receiving tight end.
Exactly. And so I think that's what they really looked at Brock Bowers as, more a receiver, like I think, than anything else. So I think so he's going to be that hybrid type, but he's not going to be your Travis Kelce and George Kittle, because I don't think he's big enough to be that guy.
Travis Kelce doesn't really block much. George Kittle's the only kind of main tight end that does. Yeah, but he's big enough to where he can if you need him to. And I don't think Brett Bowers is big enough to do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, he will try his ass off. I mean, he has got a work ethic of,
dog.
Yeah, I mean, he's got everything you need. So, but at the same time, I mean, when he's going up against a guy that's, just as fast as he is and, 60 pounds heavier, like, I don't know, what are you going to do?
Get good, scrub. That's what he's going to do. So y'all think the Penix pick like caught the NFL teams off guard too?
It caught anything in the whole world. It caught everybody off guard.
It caught the folks
teams, like
in the
players,
Premier League off guard.
The WNBA got caught off guard.
I'm not exaggerating when I say it has the potential to be the worst pick of all time.
No, Jamarcus
It
Russell
definitely
will
has
always
the
be
potential.
I just want to know what they were
will always
thinking.
be the worst pick of all time.
I think that teams, I think the NFL teams owe it to their fans for all decisions to be public.
Oh my God!
Like the government, the government.
Oh my God! No.
For the people. I think I want to hear the recording of that room when they made the decision.
Seriously.
Come on, where's the accountability here? I'm just saying. Wouldn't that be great?
It makes me so mad.
But then we would have to. Then the fans would be after the heads of these people making millions of dollars and being dum-dums. So, oh well. I mean, whatever. I guess. So what are the Falcons going to go this year, Flick? They're going to be
I
terrible.
mean, the Falcons are going to be decent to good this year.
I vote we're going to be 10-7.
Yeah, I kind of see that.
Looks like
probably the more frustrating part is like the Falcons are a good team. Like the defense improved last year, but we had a fairly easy schedule and not like a ton of hard quarterbacks. And so I think a lot of people are more enamored with our defense and think it's a lot better than it actually is because the Falcons haven't had a decent defense in the past 20 years, except for maybe 1 year. So they think it's a lot better than I think it actually is. And so they think we're in a place like we're not able to win a Super Bowl with our current roster as it is. Well, and the draft wouldn't have necessarily changed that, but we sure shit didn't help it in the slightest. It's
how heartbroken is Flick right now,
dude. It sucks because they're fucking incompetent. Like they're not good enough to be bad. Like I'd rather them be fucking terrible because at least then you're going to get a higher pick and you can build around some higher picks. But like we've drafted fucking 8 3 years in a row.
Why don't we get rid of our GM? He's obviously a dumbass.
It's a great question. I liked him because he was really good last year.
Like I hated Bijan pick though.
I hated it because the value of a running back,
there.
Not because of the player though. Like I like the player a lot.
I like the player too, but like there's running backs aren't a thing anymore.
They're not. Like it's stupid. It's so dumb. But he did enough good PR for me in free agency last year to make me a little bit more okay with it, especially with the way that they like went after people in free agency and who they went after. Like it was kind of making sense that was going to happen. But this year, like we still need more guys on the defense, and there's every defensive player was available. Not like we missed out on the top defensive player. Every single fucking like literally 7 offense. There's 23 offensive players drafted. They broke their record for most offensive players drafted in a round by like 7.
Wasn't it the 16th or 17th pick when the first defensive guy went?
15. It was
15.
Latu.
Yeah,
that's insane.
So who would you have picked, Flick?
I would have picked Latu.
Okay.
My ideal scenario where the Falcons were going to trade back to honestly probably where the Minnesota was and draft Latu there because I didn't think he would go in the top 10. Like Latu at 8 was a little bit of a reach, but I liked him.
I liked it a lot better than Penix at 8.
Yeah, I would have liked fucking Brock Bowers or Roma Doomsday. Better.
Yeah, I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a really good year though.
Oh, I do too. I like, but in literally any of it, like would have been better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Oh, well, I guess such is life, huh? That's the NFL draft for you.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, you said you had something you want to talk about.
Yeah, what's your question? I want to start thinking about this and
No, you can't avoid this one because the season's coming. It's just this is a forever thing for you, Flick. You're gonna forever. It's like 28-3. You're gonna
until I off
right
myself at least.
Get you some ketamine and you'll forget about everything. Anyway,
let's break.
You want to take a break?
Yep.
39 minutes into the thing. What you gotta do? You gotta poop?
I mean,
tell the people. Tell the people. All right, we'll take a break.
Oh, is that okay? Oh shit! Hold on.
And we're back. Second time. It's early in the morning. Little different timing. We got some bodily functions going on, huh, Rob?
You know what? Sometimes it'd be like that. You just gotta.
It do be like that. It do be like that.
You just gotta.
Well, I think it was great. I think we get a break in there. We're sorry for the cuts, but we talk about the NFL draft. We get that behind us. We forget about that's happened. We forget about the NFL, and we look forward to college football. We also segue to our next our next thing. Which, for the record, I don't know if this is a good topic or not. Something I was thinking about yesterday. I say a little more serious, but you know us, we can't take anything serious. So I was thinking about this podcast. I was thinking about the last show. And we finished these things. And I guess it's like I have the memory of a goldfish. We all know that. So maybe I forget about like the funny parts. But then as I'm like, I don't really edit things. I just kind of put it into Premiere and then like cut whatever, add like some fades and that sort of thing to, so it doesn't just like pop in people's ears when we come on. Anyway, so I got to thinking as I've like scrubbed through the footage and all, trying to find rogue shit that y'all are doing that I'm not paying attention to.
Never.
I like some of it's pretty funny. Like I think it's pretty funny. So I was just thinking to myself, like, are we? And maybe okay. So this is.
I know where this is going. Oh,
no, you don't. No, you don't. You can't possibly know where this is going.
You're gonna ask if we're funny or not. Are we actually funny?
No. Well, kinda. But two questions. 2-part question. Are we? Okay, maybe you're right, Rob. Are we entertaining? Rob does that all the time. He's like, I know where you're going with this. He guesses what everybody's thinking. He's like right 1 out of a million.
Oh, listen to that.
Anyway, so the first 2-part question. First part of the question is, are we as a group entertaining? Or do we just think we're entertaining and funny? 2, do we individually think we're funny people? Or are we just like out there just like living life and being stupid? Don't jump too quick. This is a deep question. Think about it.
No.
No and no. So we're, and that's kind of where I was going for. Okay, so we got one opinion. I want to hear y'all's opinion, and then I'll tell you what I think or what I was thinking.
Wait. I gotta remember which words. So,
are we entertaining as a group, and are you interesting or entertaining as an individual?
That's a different question.
I think yes.
I agree.
Different
question.
I think yes, and then I think 50-50 on the second one.
Okay. Flick?
So which question am I answering here?
Well, answer them both. Answer the group one and then answer the individual question.
Well, you asked 2 separate individual questions.
Whether we're entertaining or whether we're interesting? Is that what you're saying, or 2 different questions?
Well, no, that's one question. The first question was, are we funny? Like individually.
Oh, that's no, Rob different. Asked, are we funny? I asked if we were entertaining.
Because entertaining and interesting is different from being funny.
Yeah, no, I agree. Answer the entertaining part.
And then what was I was stuck on that? So I forgot the first question.
Are we as a group entertaining or interesting? And then individually?
We can be. At times, not always. But I think in a totality, overall, yes. As far as interesting, I think some of us are more interesting and some of us are more funny. And like Rob is a very I say interesting in the sense of like
here comes an insult.
He's got no. This is a compliment to Rob. He has a lot of different stuff going on in his life, and he knows a lot of different people. So Rob has a lot more different experiences than I think the rest of us.
Okay.
Or not different, but more. He has a lot more like a wider range of like different experiences. So, and Rob has a story for almost fucking anything in his life. So Rob is more interesting in that sense.
Because
but like me personally, I think I'm more funnier than I am interesting because I'm kind of boring. I don't do a bunch of shit.
I got the black cloud.
If I'm not funny,
I'm interesting.
If the fat guy's not funny, I got nothing else going on. Like I've got to be funny.
Oh, so okay, so that's where I'm like thinking back on this line of thinking. I'm like, man, that's some depressive ass thinking. But in the moment, I wasn't really. I was more calculating all this. Like, so as a whole.
Well, can I change my answer?
Sure.
I
yes.
was kind of joking when I said that anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I've listened to a couple of our episodes all the way through, like on walks, and I do find it to be entertaining. So I think as a group we are entertaining. And I don't think individually I'm very good at being entertaining, but I think in a group I can be when we're not talking about sports.
Dude, you should have seen yourself eating that sub. That was pretty entertaining.
I'll never do anything as funny as that in my life.
No, that's a highlight, buddy. The clip I create from that is going to be zoomed in on your face and in slow mo. Just
no, Jordan, I really want you to, like, I know you're not going to do a whole lot of editing, but if you could, like, when that happens, just cut away from the rest of us and then just go the entire stream.
Yeah, like
just
big screen, Mason.
And then cut back to us to start dying laughing.
oh, like for the actual YouTube video. Yeah, I could probably do that.
I think that would look very funny.
I can probably do that. So my answer, or what I was thinking about when I was like thinking through all this, and Mason, honestly, impressive that you've listened to these episodes all the way through, because I haven't, other than scrub through them.
I
can't. I just don't.
I've listened to all of them.
Really? Okay, so
I start them to try to get views, but like I can't. I said it the other day in the show. I can't listen to myself. I fucking hate my own voice.
I've listened I don't know. I just don't think. I have a lot of fun doing this, and that's why I do it. But I don't think we're entertaining or interesting whatsoever. And I also don't think I live an interesting life. So like, it's been.
You can't say.
Why can't I say that? I can be honest. I can be frank. It's like I don't know. I'm just living living my best Q life, you know. So I guess the reason I was thinking about this, beyond just like the editing part and all that, like some of the funny clips that I like went back and I'm like, oh, that is kind of funny. Like some people, like Matt and Webb, has said he's watched a couple, and then y'all just said y'all watched a couple and thought it was interesting or entertaining, more so than interesting. That shocks me. That really shocks me. I'm just like,
I will say this.
Just shooketh.
I think I think there's some topics that we talk about that I think is very entertaining, and I think there's some topics that we talk about that I'm just like, yeah. So I think, and I think we've talked about before, but I think the stuff that we kind of have planned is more entertaining, and it's not like, I'm not saying we sit there and, you know, I've done all the research in the world and all that stuff, and I come so prepared. Like, I don't think that. I just think it's stuff that, you know, we kind of get a little passionate about and stuff. I think is what is entertaining. So, like, I mean, like when Flick was just, when Flick was talking about the Falcons football, like, and like what he was talking about, like, yes, that was interesting to me, and like I wanted to like listen to what, and Flick is also very passionate about that. So like, I think if you just kind of like, when we show passion about something, I think it's entertaining. I think that's a lot. I think that's for a lot of people though. I like, not just us. I'm saying, I mean, like, if someone's passionate about something and talks about it, like most of the time I can sit down and listen and be like, oh, that's pretty cool, or whatever.
I don't think. I mean, I'm glad that's you, but I'm not watching. Like, if I go to YouTube and I'm like gonna watch a video on something, I'm like not one out of like 10. No, 1 out of 1,000 videos I watch will be like somebody who has like, you know, some video that's got like less than 1,000 views on it. Like, I'm never clicking on it because I just don't want to hear some jank boy's opinion. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe I'm judging a book by its cover when I do that, because the guys with like millions and millions of views can also be jank boys. And by the way, I don't know what jank boys means, but I think y'all get my point. I know if somebody called me a jank boy, I'd be upset with it. I'd be upset with them. It's not worse than being called a shatug, though.
I think you just called yourself a jank boy. So,
what you mean? Oh, yeah. I'm one of the guys with the videos with less than 1,000 views. Yeah, I'm a jank boy, I guess. We're gonna get there though. We're gonna break that 1,000 view mark.
Jordan, I think the reason you think that in particular, though, I feel like you're comparing it to the best of the best, and like I feel like, because like you've mentioned like, oh, like I want us to be as big as Joe Rogan, for example. Like, it feels like
that was right, but I get your point.
Yeah, it feels like we have these thoughts of like we need to be that that big or be like them or be like, for me, like y'all know I like Pardon My Take. That's want to be like them. Like we need to be ourselves regardless. If we're trying to be other people, this will never work.
Yeah.
But when you sit here, when we have done probably 9 episodes now, because we haven't finished the other half of this one. We'll be at 9.5 after we finish this one. We're still learning. Like we learn something new every episode about like how to do this. Like if you're comparing us to the top of the top and having a little bit of delusions of grandeur here of like we're going to be the best of the best all the way to start, you're never going to think that you're that good, right? And we're not.
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing.
To an extent, I think it is, but I also think like we need to be ourselves at the end of the day. And I think if we just work on making a better product, the other things are going to come with it as long as the product is good. And trying to compare us or think we have to be like these people or be as good as these people, that will, in my opinion, I don't think that gets us anywhere.
So
it gets us somewhere. I'll rephrase that. But
well, I mean, I think it's okay to set the bar high, but for what it's worth, I don't think I don't compare us to any of the other podcasts because I don't think like they do something. These folks do something. They've got it figured out. Maybe when they started, they were like us, where they're just like hanging out or whatever. But
I mean, Joe Rogan,
they've got it figured out.
Basement.
Yeah. But like the ones that are not, Joe Rogan is an anomaly. But like think about the ones that are more targeted podcasts. Like they come on, they talk about roughly the same stuff. Yeah,
whatever.
Exactly. They're like a car podcast. Like they talk about cars every episode. They've got it figured out, and they're good at that.
Well, that's what YouTube is, though. I mean, like all these podcasts too, and that's, I mean, like you go look up like how to make a YouTube channel, and the third thing is like find a niche. I mean, find a niche. I mean, that's what all of them say, and so. And that's because people, when they go to YouTube or they go to a podcast, like a lot of times they have something in mind. So like they want to go talk about like, oh, they want to look up the new GTRS. Like, oh, well, let me go look up, who's talking about the GTRS. Oh, I want to go look up some football guy and they're talking about the draft. Like they'll type in like Joel Klatt or Mel Kiper or something like that. Oh, I want to go talk about food.
Mel Kiper.
Give me freaking Gordon Ramsay. And so like that's kind of, it's not like I just go on YouTube and I'm like, ooh, what do I want to look at today? Like just whatever appears. Like
that's exactly what I do on YouTube. My YouTube is wacky.
Yeah, but your YouTube is probably targeted to stuff that you probably would want to look at.
They try. They freaking try. They try to pigeonhole you so bad, man. They try to put you, like, if you watch a video on electronics, my God, good luck finding a video on guitar
the
or
past
golf.
6 months on YouTube have been kind of really bad about that.
They're so weird.
It's gotten
can
so
pivot
much worse.
so bad. It's
Like, it used to be like, hey, you would have like your main content that you're interested in, but you'd also see stuff that was somewhat related to it or somewhat related to some of the other stuff. Now it's just like you watch a couple videos.
Oh, I watched a video on Dragon Ball Z the other day. And now, like, that's all it is. And I'm like, dude, like, I just was wanting to watch, little Gohan beat up Cell. And now I'm over here watching, like, and I'm like, dude, like, just, I want to watch something different. Like, get it off the screen.
Who does that? So do you think, do y'all, we're getting way off of the original ask, but do y'all subscribe? Are y'all good about subscribing to channels on YouTube?
Things that I like, yeah. Things that I like, 100%.
Yeah,
oh, really?
I'm scrolling through shorts and I see a topic that I like. Like there was this one guy that was like doing like wood joinery, making different joints and stuff like that. And I find that interesting. So I'm like, subscribe. Mm-hmm. I probably subscribed to like 3 or 4 channels last night, just scrolling on shorts.
Maybe that's my problem. I ain't giving out my subscription for. I'm probably
why are you like not private but selective with it? I guess because like it just makes things easier for you.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's free. That's why it should be like.
I don't know why I'm that way. I've got. Let's see. I'll tell you. I have one. I'm looking at my YouTube subscriptions right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 subscriptions total. That's it. That's all I'm subscribed to. And actually, most of it's music stuff, which is really weird.
See, I don't describe any music though. That is something I don't do.
And I'm actually. Oh no, that is something I like. I'm subscribed to the Dirty Governors, which have 788 subs. I'm one of 788, which is a good feeling. Yeah, I don't know. I this is irrelevant. I don't know how we even got to this subscriptions thing, but I guess yeah. I mean, I don't know. I find it to be an interesting question to think about. Like, we all live, I would say, fairly uninteresting lives. No offense, guys, but you put us four on a video or a podcast type thing, and it like, even if okay, so whether we're entertaining or interesting as a group is subjective, obviously, but let's just say that we are. Let's just take the anecdotes that we've heard thus far, and some people watch the episodes, they find it funny, they find the content relatively interesting that we've come up with, like the draft thing. The four of us together are interesting and entertaining, but individually, like if I tried to get on here and do like a channel where I was just like talking about shit, it would be the most boring thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, you would turn me off immediately.
I don't know about that.
I mean, no, he's right there.
Yeah, I'm right.
And
I know I'm right.
That has nothing to do with even us. Like, it's hard to be solo. Like, think about radio hosts, right? Like I know a lot of people don't like him, but Colin Cowherd's like one of the anomalies of like one of the few people that really does a show by himself for 3 hours a day, every day. Colin Cowherd.
Who's that?
You know who Colin Cowherd is.
He's a famous. He's like one of the most famous like sports radio.
Flick saying his last name weird, but it's
Cowherd.
Cowherd. Yeah, you said like
Cowherd.
cow. You were like Cowherd.
Yeah. Cowherd.
Wait, I got to look.
Cowherd.
Is it not the
Cowherd.
Steelers' old coach?
No.
That's
But my
How do you
point
spell
is
it?
like
I've never heard of this guy.
COWHERD.
Cowherd, like Cowherd. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I'm just being dumb.
No, there's not a lot of like, if you turn on a radio station outside of like, if you turn on like a talk radio station and not like a, music one where they're, somebody in between songs kind of thing, all of them have 2 to 3 people on every show.
Josh Pate doesn't. Josh Pate never does, and I listen to Josh Pate.
And he's another
all
one of
the
those few anomalies that like you have to be really fucking good, like really good to do it by yourself. It's just, it's hard.
It's production though. I mean, he's got a production crew and everything.
I feel like you could do videos on like, I was at your house in Georgia, and you had like a wireless thermometer probe that you basically built yourself. I feel like if you did like videos on how you built that kind of stuff with like Raspberry Pis and all that like cool electronic stuff you did, people would definitely find that interesting. There's definitely a niche for that, and I think it's something you're passionate about, so I think you could do it.
Yeah,
just so clear, I agree with what Mason's saying. I was just referring to strictly doing this.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a lot harder. Like, you could make a YouTube channel by yourself, no problem.
It's so funny. Like, I kind of agree with that, but I think it would be more so like I've got skills that this is not like a brag or patting myself on the back. It's just a fact, because not everybody does what I do. But I think it would be less entertaining and more so educational. People would be coming to the channel to like learn something. But the other weird part about that is like that. I agree that I think is the only thing that I could make a successful channel on, but it's like on the list of passions, that stuff is like
Near the bottom.
Yeah, like God, kill me. Electronics suck.
I mean, like the only thing I think I could make YouTube videos on that, not necessarily. I mean, very, very, very few people would watch.
You shouldn't say this on. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Tell us.
No, you've lost. You've lost
the golf.
Is it ice?
God no.
Ice. You could make, dude. You probably could. That's a niche.
Ice videos.
Is that our niche? It's just Rob goes live from the field, and we all are podcasting about ice machines.
Rob, a day through the ice machine. A day through the ice machine when I'm over here taking money out, counting quarters, doing this, doing that, all the good shit, fixing the ice maker, putting bags on. Oh, got a little problem. Oh, dealing with a person calls me. Yo, ice maker ain't working.
Do that again. Wait, hold on. Let's hit that accent one more time.
I'm not doing that again.
What accent is that? Is that
that was an old person accent.
A South Georgia elderly?
Mm-hmm.
Honey,
yo, ice
you're gonna have
maker
to
ain't
come
working.
out here and fix my phone. It ain't working.
Ma'am, have you tried putting an extra quarter in? Oh, sorry, I only put in $1.75.
Ma'am, my computer won't turn on. Ma'am, is your power on? Or, no, the power went out about 3 hours. Well, that's why your computer's not working. Anyway.
Yeah. So
How did we get? Lord help us. Well,
but
I don't know.
To answer your question,
Yes, thank you.
to get into ice, it's not easy at all, actually.
Oh, you just gotta have a bunch of money.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. You got to have a permit. Obviously, got to find it somewhere. You got to find a good spot. You got to agree to either buy the land or agree to rent from somebody. Then you have to have a permit to put the machine there. And then you got to get a water hookup. You got to get a power hookup. You got to get bags. You got to get this. You got to get that. I mean, it's, and once all that's agreed, then you got to get someone to move the machine there and install it, all that crap. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. But
do you think
running is cool?
Do you
I would just
think
love to put one right there, like in the parking lot of Angel Stadium? I think it would kill.
Do you think that if you saw, before you ever knew that ice machines were a thing, and you saw the business plan, and everything was hypothetical, like they obviously the power and water and all that's not hypothetical, but the usage, the amount of ice people buy from it, that would have been hypothetical back in the day. Do you think that you would have still? Do you think you would have invested in it, or you would have been like, oh, no, fucking people ain't gonna buy ice off some random machine on the side of the road?
So I will be honest about this. I would have thought that would have been such a good idea, and then I would have put machines in certain spots that I thought would have killed it, and they wouldn't have done well because I didn't know the true statistics behind who buys ice and whatnot. Like I would have wanted to be near lakes, wanted to be near certain spots that you're like, oh, this is where I always need ice. So this is what this is where I want to have it. Well,
seasonal.
Well, it's seasonal, but it's not even that. I mean, you're in Georgia, so I mean, people buying ice majority of the year besides November, December, January, and February. I mean, there's 8 months of the year people buying ice. The rest of it, not so much. But the wanting to put one near a boat ramp and stuff like that, people when they get to the boat ramp, they already have ice. So because that's something they've thought about because they're packing coolers, doing that stuff. So that's where that doesn't ice machines don't do well there. And that's why you got to have ice machines in spots that are a lower income crowd, but has a lot of traffic, a lot of business.
God, Rob's giving away all the secrets right now.
You got to have, there's planning on this. It's not just stick a machine here, pray it does well. That's not in this game. This is there's analysis, there's data that we all run and whatnot. So
God, I don't want to beat a dead horse from the episode 1.5, but man, all of this is fuel of why I would be terrified to start a business.
Yeah, but you can. There's things you can do to you got to know these things, and if you're not a savvy business person, you don't know these things. But you're a smart enough guy to be okay, I might talk to somebody or hire somebody to do a little bit of something for me, so that way I'm not just because there's some things I know I need to do, but there's some things you may not know, and if you hire somebody to tell you hey, find the things out that I don't know that I need to be doing to be profitable, and they will tell you. There's people out there that do that for a living. So
shit, where do you find them? I need them to tell me about the stock market too.
Any consulting firm. All those big consulting firms. That's what they do. Not big. You know what I mean, though.
Well, I don't know. How did we get on ice?
Flick.
We were talking about whether or not we're interesting, and then we got to ice, which is actually ice is incredibly interesting, but that's a whole different show.
That is a whole different show. I'm with you on that, Jordan.
Oh man, are we gonna do a physics show one day?
Y'all can.
You mean where you hold the ball in front of your face and let it swing?
Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm down to watch that.
You mean the ball that goes boom and it hits?
No, that's Newton's cradle. No, he's talking about the pendulum that proves that entropy exists. There's no perfect machine.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I think it's an interesting phenomena that that people would even take a minute to watch us. Not that like, I mean, I wonder who has really sat down and watched an entire 2-hour episode at this point. You know, besides, have y'all watched 2 hours, like the whole thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sat down and
watched
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
God,
I mean, I had to.
dog.
I've watched
Times for
every-
the clips.
I've watched every one. Like I don't know, like what?
Jesus Christ. Y'all must have some boring ass lives. I'm just kidding. But you think Matt and Justin and John and them have watched like a whole
Bob
2 hours?
Bob watches every one.
Really? Like,
Yeah,
what does he
yeah.
do? So is he
I mean,
like
like,
watching it, or is he like
Because
turning it
we're
on and do
entertaining.
something else?
I mean, he literally calls me. He goes, that was a funny episode. I mean, he does it all the time. It's hilarious.
This is like even more to my point though. Like, it's just so weird to me that, you know, like,
I think
people
it's-
have different
I think
interest
it's-
in you, Jordan, and people have things find funny that aren't funny to you, and then they are funny to
But
them. I mean, like
we don't talk about-
people are different.
but we
Jordan,
very.
you should never take a sales job.
Never.
Oh, I should never. I know that. God,
Jesus Christ!
I'm so bad at that kind of thing. Like, I'm way too honest. Like, people ask me questions, I'm like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't do that if I were you. Like, aren't you trying to sell? Like, I'm not really trying to sell you anything. You know what? I'm the voice of the customer. I fight for the user. What are you talking about? I'm a great salesperson. I'm the most honest salesperson ever. I would just be broke.
Dude, I'm terrible. Like when I was doing door-to-door sales in Jacksonville, I come upon these like old ladies or old like families and like paying like $120 for cable. I'm like, yeah, I can make your cable bill cheaper, but what do you watch? And they're like, 3 channels. I'm like, go to CVS, get an HD antenna, never pay for cable again. You don't need it.
Yeah, I'm way. Oh God, that's a whole. Can we have a show about how much of a
Look at
scam
Rob's face.
internet and cable is?
I don't like Mason. I respect that heavily. Don't get me wrong, like heavily. And
Yeah, of
don't,
course you do, because he's honest.
but when it comes to your livelihood and you try like that's you gotta sell, man. Like
I'm not taking advantage of no grandma. Some things
You're
in
not
life are
taking
just.
advantage. If they're already paying $120, then you get them to have $80. You just help them save $40 a month. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
instead of
freaking
saving
$480 a year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of true. That's like halfway moral, I suppose. Is that how you live your life? Or are you just a halfway moral kind of guy?
I mean, I'm an insurance agent. What do you, I mean, like, do you think we have morals?
He's got a point there.
I mean, I sell something. Listen to this. Insurance. I'm an insurance agent. I'm about to tell you, insurance is the biggest fraud out there in the world.
No, it's
I'm
not.
going to
No,
tell
it's
everybody.
not.
No,
Stop.
listen to me.
Stop. Don't do that. You're
Listen to me.
wrong. No,
No. You
no,
don't know.
insurance
I
is.
know insurance.
I
Shut
know
up,
how
shut
it
up,
works.
Jordan.
Statistics
Just let
is
me-
statistics. Don't let this man.
Let me tell you.
It's
something.
math, folks. Buy your
Let me tell
insurance.
you something.
It's just certain types of insurance or scams.
You have to
Caveat
have
it.
insurance. You have to have insurance. You have when you own a home and you have a mortgage, the bank goes for proof of insurance. So you go get insurance on your house. You have to have insurance on your car because the state of wherever you live requires you to have at least these limits. So you buy insurance and you're like, well, what kind of insurance? Like, oh, do you have what kind of car do you have? Blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, I have we'll say a 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Oh my God.
Jeep Jank Cherokee.
I just did it.
It's a
Grand
Jeep
Cherokee.
Jank Cherokee,
Jesus, I mixed up.
which is an insult to the entirety of the Jeep community, and they deserve it. Sorry. Anyway.
Anyways, so you then get insurance and you say, I want my whole car to be insured, fully insured. So you get comp collision, all that great stuff. Well, you don't have a claim for 5 years and you've paid, we'll say in the last, and you don't have a claim on your car or your house for the last 5 years, and you've paid, we'll say $20,000 in insurance for the last 5 years, and you haven't used it at all, and yet your premium is going up every year because everyone else can't drive and everyone else having this stuff, and it's like, and I get it, like you got to have it or else, because when something does happen, you're then getting the money. I understand that, but it's a scam because. Like, why are you paying for something you will like most people don't ever use?
Stop
That's how they
saying
make
that.
money.
Don't say that.
I know that's how they make money.
No,
I
okay,
knew
so
that.
no, it's statistics. They're
Jordan, that's not what I'm talking about
probability.
statistics at all
It's
here.
probability plus profit. Like,
understand.
of course you're always going to be. Of course you're always going to come out like
You're not
less
understanding
than.
what I'm saying.
No, no. Trust me, I totally understand what you're saying. But
Jordan,
insurance
I don't
is
think you get
necessary,
what he's saying.
He
and
does.
it's people have done a lot of legwork, a lot of research, trying to
Because-
figure out what the probabilities of an event happening are. But the insurance companies have to make money. Now we can pick on the profits all day long.
They don't make money though.
Insurance companies definitely make money, or they wouldn't be in business. They do make money,
And that's
it's
what-
a
but
for-profit business.
I understand it's for-profit business, and I'm telling you, in certain states right now, they are not making money, and
Well, they're pulling out.
and they are pulling out because
Yeah.
it is impossible to make money right now in Florida. It's impossible to make money in South Carolina. It's
Well,
impossible
but-
to make money in Georgia.
but
that's why we're having issues.
You
right
just
now.
proved our point there. Like they're for-profit businesses. They're going to make a profit, or they're going to go out of business, or change their business plan. So the insurance companies in Florida, yeah, I agree. They're saying there's no way we can make money.
Well, you can't make
and-
money because lawyers are suing people, and in Georgia and whatnot, and there's no tort reform in there because they can just do whatever they want. So
Yeah.
that's why people are
No,
pulling out though.
I understand. I'm just
But
saying.
but also that's not what I'm talking about when I'm saying insurance is scam. Is because I can think of just a billion scenarios where something happens to your vehicle or something happens to your house, and insurance company looks at it as, oh, sorry, that's not covered under insurance, and it's like, well,
Oh, yeah.
why are you giving me a policy that doesn't cover me for everything I need?
Yeah, no, I agree. Because they can't. It's because they like the probability of those events are unfavorable. It's always got to be. It's like going to the casino. It's got to be in favor of the house.
No,
Like,
well, it's
that's the
because
way
I
it
think
is.
if 95% of people took the money they spend on insurance and put it into a savings account, 95% of people would be better off. You're going to have the 5% that lose, but like I feel like the majority of people are going to be better off. If they just save up that money, eventually an event may happen, but then they'll have the money to pay for it.
But in many cases, well, I don't say many cases. In some cases, the insurance is not about you. It's about the other party that gets involved in whatever event happens to you.
100%, because you got to have car insurance, because if you hurt somebody in a car accident or whatnot, like you got to have that. And like I can, and even on your home and auto, I understand that too, or your home, because if someone gets hurt on your premises and it's your fault, like your
It
liability
could ruin your
insurance-
life.
Your liability insurance is what's going to pick it up.
Yeah.
And pay for their medical bills and all that stuff. So I understand what it's like, that portion, but like on the property side, like when you're talking about like, oh, like my house got struck by lightning and now I need a new roof or something like that. Like, yeah, Mason, you're probably right. 95% would probably be better off just putting whatever it costs to insure their property alone, not liability, but like property alone. You're probably right. But
I agree with that.
you can't, but it's very hard to just go get like premise liability but it's not very expensive either. That's the thing. It's like the expensive part of insurance is actually insuring the property, like the structure, like what is there. Like liability insurance, you can get that shit for nothing. I mean, it's like you might spend $500 a year or something like that on liability insurance.
Yeah. Insurance is like, yeah, some of it's forced, so I guess you don't have a choice. But when you get something that's an optional insurance, it's like you're basically agreeing to pay for whatever the cost of the event is for yourself over time. And so that like as a group, whatever the event is that gets insured, as a group, if person A, if it happens on day one for them, they can get a payout because person B has been paying for 30 years and it hadn't happened to them. Like, and yeah, it's always going to be skewed. Like if you do the math and you don't account for the profit of the insurance company and the salesman and everything else, it's going to look awful on paper. But if you include the profit, then you're probably look at it and go, oh yeah, it makes sense. Now, the margins on everything, I probably would be horrified if I looked at it. I say that. I don't know for sure because I haven't looked at the numbers, but it's probably one of those things like, it's like most things you look at it and go, why did CEO X make $150 million last year and nothing with the business has changed in a decade? Like, how are they really moving this forward? So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
how did we get on insurance? God, that's quite possibly the most boring thing ever. Right?
Sorry, it's probably my fault again. Everything's my
That's-
fault, so just blame
Yeah,
it on
fuck
me.
you, Rob.
Like I
Jeez,
said, we
Rob.
talked about ice, boring. Talked about insurance, boring. You just talked about my life. Thank you very much. Called me boring. I will leave now.
I did do that, didn't I? But to be fair, I also said my life is boring, which it is.
It's like you suck, but I suck too, so it's okay.
Yeah, we're
We
in
suck
this,
together.
we're in this shit pile together, Rob. And it's at least it's better when we're together.
Touching tips.
Touching tips. Yeah, I don't know. I still think maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I got too much like free. You're holding a baby and you're feeding him. There's like nothing. I mean, you're just out there. It's a scary place to be. You're just alone with your thoughts. I mean, I'm telling you. Y'all wait. You're gonna be there one day. You're gonna be there one day, Rob.
I mean, I ride in a car for a lot of my working hours, and like you just sit in a car by yourself for enough time, you think about a lot of things.
Do you like close your eyes and drive for a little while and just hope that the worst happens?
Hopefully, there's a stop car that I didn't see, and whatever. It's a big winding curve that I was not able to see.
God, we're gonna get canceled for talking about death this much, but
So yourself.
So what are we? We're gonna do what next? What's our next podcast? What's our next interesting podcast that makes our lives less?
I thought we were doing the artist draft.
Is that what we're gonna do for sure? Like, are we committing to that? We're gonna do.
I'm in.
I'm down.
Sure.
We're gonna do a draft style artists, and then that's gonna dovetail into another show where we draft style songs from those artists.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick from the pool.
That was out of the, because Webb will probably do it with us, so it'll be a pool of 25 artists.
Yeah. So that okay, I think that'll be interesting.
Which that's
kind of
like,
might have to pick a song. I might have to pick a song from like I know me and Flick both like Third Eye Blind, but Third Eye Blind only has like 3 songs that I really like. So we could be picking from the same.
Yeah, you're not. No one's gonna pick Third Eye
songs.
Blind as their top 5 artists.
You never know.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
Well, that's things like you're never gonna pick a one-hit wonder though, guy. Like I mean, like so we're like on the song list. It's not gonna be like we're not gonna have "Take on Me" because no one's gonna pick that.
Is that because you're gonna be thinking about the next show? You're gonna be trying to game the next show.
No, I'm talking about the best artists. Like they should have multiple songs that are good. Like that's why.
Yeah, but then you open yourself up to the next show where like if you pick the Beatles, for example, then oh God, let's not even talk. If you pick the Jesus Christ, that's offensive.
Mason, that's fucked up. They don't have that many good songs.
If you were to pick, I don't know, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's got dozens of great songs. So then it just becomes easy, but it also might mean that it just becomes a Michael Jackson thing. So
it becomes easy, but like, I mean, you could also limit it to each person can only pick like one from a person.
From the artist. Ooh,
like you and I can both pick Michael Jackson, but you and I can't both pick, 5 picks of Michael Jackson.
So okay, I got you. I thought you were saying if
we can have
a song from Michael
picks.
Jackson, I couldn't pick a song from Michael Jackson.
Oh, I kind of like that idea better though. Like
limit it even more.
If someone picks a song from that artist, you can no longer pick a song from that artist.
That could be really interesting.
Because it would make it difficult.
But then it would make it really
fun.
It would make it really difficult though, because you're when you get in the last rounds and there's only 10 people left, and maybe it's not anybody that you picked.
Yeah.
And you don't know any real good songs from this person. I mean, more than likely we're going to know a majority of the artists, but like I think we'll really pigeonhole ourselves in the last.
You will, but you will also then see like the first 5 picks will be like what we think are probably like more than likely like the 5 best songs. Because I mean, like sure, like the Beatles may be on there, but like, are you going to pick, Get Back as a top 5 song or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, like I think that just brings another layer of interesting to it.
Yeah, it could, but then like Flick said, like what if Webb shows up and picks only anime intros or something for his artists, and then I'm like, I like don't know any of them. It's like the last 5 picks, and I've got just nothing but anime artists.
Let's just do freaking generic.
No, God, let's not limit it. No. Let's not limit it because that has been.
Well, Webb's not going to pick. Webb's not going to pick an anime.
I don't think so either. I'm just using an example. Mason's probably rogue.
Flick might. Flick
I
might.
wouldn't. I could. I wouldn't.
I feel like Mason's the rogue. Mason's gonna pick some like off the wall shit.
Dude, if he picks Bach, I mean,
Artists?
I would never.
Jordan's probably going to pick a fucking podcast or some shit. I couldn't help that one. I'm not
pick a
trying to
movie
start. I couldn't. I wasn't trying to start an argument. I just couldn't help that one.
Webb's going to give us 12 artists anyways for his top 5. So
That's the reason we came up with draft. So he can't do that again.
God,
So that was bullshit.
okay.
was
I
insane.
think you just limit it to the artists we picked from the first show.
If you want to limit it a little bit, you could say like no more than 3 from an artist, like on the total list, maybe. But I think it just makes it incredibly difficult to do only one.
Yeah, because it's like has to perfectly align with the artists that are in the pool.
Yeah.
Now we could.
it would. I mean,
And
like,
it also kind of discredits the really good artist a little bit too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like we're taking out I could see, like, for example, Daft Punk being on there because I know how much Jordan and I love them, and I know the rest of y'all like them too. To pick only one Daft Punk song would be really hard, and if Jordan takes one, like, and then
okay, what Daft Punk song are you taking? In all seriousness, I need to hear this now.
that'll be in a couple of weeks when we do that episode.
No,
'Cause they'll be on my list. I know that.
I agree,
Like,
but I need to know right now. What if you had to
that's
pick
really
one Daft Punk song?
Oh, like what's my favorite Daft Punk song?
Yes.
Just disregard the show thing.
Disregard the
Oh
show.
God.
The synthesizer.
Ooh.
I love that song so much.
I think it's One More Time. I really do.
Well,
When
like,
that song
it's- I
comes
don't know
on, I'm just like, one more time. And I'm just like, fucking, like, let's go. I'm just in it. And like, to me, okay, we can argue about how the song's made and like what makes up a great song and all that good stuff. But end of the day, when a song captures you, that's what makes a great song. That's what makes a great hit. Like, I'll stand. And y'all know I love music. I like the intricacies of it. I like thinking about like how a song's made up, what the melody's like, if the singer's a good singer, bad singer, how like the tone of things, all of that. I really like to think about. But at the end of the day, when I'm picking songs and I get in my car and I turn it on the radio and I roll the windows down, I'm not gonna think about that stuff. I'm just like, what's gonna get me to look like a fool while I'm driving down the road? That's what I want.
It's very funny you say that, just because of the way that you described, like when we talk about movies and TV shows, like how you think about that. And we were kind of all saying it's like it's just kind of what we're feeling at the time. But you're complete opposite from music,
Yeah, no, I think
which is interesting to me because I'm the same. I'm how you are for music. With I also at the same time with movies and TV shows. It's like I want to watch something that like I like and feel good about. Like I don't put like a ton of weight or thought into it. Like the way I just found that interesting, at least.
I think the difference is if the way that I would like put it into like draft or list form is my favorites versus what I think are the best. But when I'm going to like watch a movie or when we did the movie thing, I ultimately picked like what resonates with me the most. I mean, for God's sakes, there were 2 Dave Chappelle comedy specials on my list. So it's
Those
not
TV shows.
Yeah.
okay.
That was an actual joke.
God. We're going to have a whole show on nothing but that where we just debate those 2 things. I mean, 1 hour of whether those specials are movies, 1 hour of. Okay, never mind. Moving back to what we were talking about.
I could let that.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between favorites and like what are the best.
Oh, huge difference.
Now, like what you pick as the best, I think is biased by what your favorites are, obviously. But like, like one of my top favorite songs of all time, Flick knows it's Semi-Charmed Life. Like that song, when it comes on, it's springtime, sun's out, guns out. I'm like, it just doesn't get any better. And I know in my brain, not in my heart, in my brain that song is mediocre at best. Like it's just mediocre, but it gets me going, son.
Well,
Go
the
ahead.
lyrics terrible, actually.
Oh, it's just a drug ridden. Like it's
Yeah.
just about doing drugs and being high, and like that's couldn't be further than me, like from how I live my life. But I love the song. It just feels good. Go ahead, Flick.
Jordan, did I?
Sorry, Mason. Go ahead, Flick.
Raising my hand meant I was waiting to talk, and I said, "Go ahead, Flick." That's why I started talking. So it's not good. I'm sorry, fuck with you. Well, I mean, we could do the whole draft thing of like basing it off the 25. We do, or we could just do the 25 best songs at the end of the day. Our favorite songs, because like I feel like that draft would be a lot different than only limiting it to the 20. Because like Third Eye Blind, like Semi-Charmed Life will be in your top 25 songs, but Third Eye Blind would not be in your top 25. Or maybe in your top 25 bands, but they won't be on that draft list.
Yeah,
like I like
no,
the
that's
idea
true.
of connecting them, but it's also
I'm down.
I feel like we're very much limiting ourselves. If we do that though, if we did it that way, I'd have no problem with saying only one from that artist. Then, if we said don't worry about our first list, one from we can only pick one from an artist, but we have every artist available in the world.
So, all right, Mason, does your thought connect to that thought, or shall we wrap that thought up first?
My thoughts.
Or are you about to say something just
Third Eye
rogue
Blind.
AF?
I want to
Okay.
hear. I want to hear it. I want to hear
Let's
it.
go ahead.
Just,
Mason.
he's raised his hand. He waited his turn.
All right, so Jordan's gonna be extremely disappointed in me, but
Here we go.
so Jessica, my wife, is friends with a girl named Bridget who is marrying the drummer of Third Eye Blind, and I have been to probably 3 parties where he's been at, and I didn't know who he was, and I haven't talked to him.
God, dog. I don't know who he is either, though. So no, I'm not that mad at you.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a really interesting fact.
Could I be your
That's
date
pretty
that way?
crazy.
Could I be just date that way? That'd be sick.
Yeah, I would go. And anyway, so back to Flick's thought. I am down to disconnect the shows. The only reason I was
I like
Only reason
connecting them. just so
I like
clear.
it. I like it
it's
too.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see it both ways. Like, if we do the top 25 without like limiting at all, then it's just hard to pick. It's hard to pick top 25 songs. There's so many songs out there. Like, I mean, I can't even remember all the songs that I really deeply love, and then it comes on, and I'm like, ooh, that song. So that's the only reason I was trying to limit it. But I mean, I'm down.
You say that, and for the most part, you'll still get 80 to 90, because that's how it was with movies. Like, I mean, if I just sat down and didn't do any research, my 10 would have been a lot different. But I did research it, because like part of it was just like kind of remembering some of the movies and the titles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, so you'll do a little research, and maybe you'll search up like, best rock songs of the 2000s, right? And you're like, oh my God, how much I love that song.
Yeah.
But you hadn't heard it in a while. Like,
Yeah. I think I'd have to do a lot.
the
of
research will help you a lot more than you think it will. But I do agree, like there are so many.
There's
so many
many more
For
songs in movies.
There's tenfold songs,
Yeah.
if not more.
So what would we do if we okay? So hypothetically, we disconnect the 2 episodes. What would we would just get on and like? It's a pool of songs, and the only rule is you can't double pick artists.
Well, I'm not saying we have to do that. It's just kind of a thought.
It's
And I mean,
interesting.
again,
So I can.
I'm
Like
still
the
open
art-
to keeping it connected.
The artist one's gonna be fun though, because like after it's all said and done, you get your 5, and we get to pick who's got the best list. Like I think that's gonna be more fun. That part right there will be more fun than anything else.
I think the artist one will be good.
Figure out who has the best list.
It will be.
Well, that's a whole debate too. Is how do we actually score that? But like,
I mean, you can put a poll in the chat or in the comments, can't you?
uh,
Granted, as we grow, like we don't have like a huge following, but like I think that's something we should do anytime we do this, regardless.
I thought we
I'm pretty
could.
sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can. I thought
we
In
could.
Spotify,
I
there's
tried,
a place
but
to
I
do it when I upload.
couldn't
Yeah,
like
there is.
immediately
I've seen
figure
it
out,
before.
so I gave
Okay.
up. We can try, but like, okay, so the artist one I think is pretty straightforward. Like it's the full pool of artists. You can't double pick artists. The same rules from the TV shows thing applies. The songs one though, like, okay, so let's decouple it. Are we saying that we pick a song, and then I can't pick from the same artist again, but can somebody else pick from that same artist? Or is that artist completely off the table once I pick a song from him?
I mean, that's I have to determine that. Also, the link I just put is just so how to put a poll in YouTube for Jordan. Don't really need to worry about that.
I think if we decouple the shows and we let people pick, then like I should be able to pick the Beatles, Rob should be able to pick the Beatles, but maybe we can't have the same song.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
So like
submarine.
if we do the song just the song show, and we're doing a draft of songs and it's not coupled to the artist from the previous show, right? So we're talking about just songs. And if I pick like a song from the Beatles, Rob should also be able to pick a song from the Beatles, but just not the same song.
Well, yeah.
But the artist should be in the pool still.
I'm fine with that.
I really
I just threw it out there because Rob had talked about it earlier, so I was kind of like trying to merge those ideas together. But I'm fine either way there.
I want to be pigeonholed because I think it'd be way funnier.
Now that Rob says that, I actually agree. It'd be very funny if like 1-1 I go up and pick a fucking Beatles song and I take that completely away from Jordan.
Yeah, well,
that's good content. I agree. Rob's right.
I agree. It makes everything line up. It makes the spinning of the wheel really important at the beginning.
And it also
they got to be connected. Fuck it.
And it also gives us more variety too.
Yeah,
which is good.
I think we'll think about the way that we create the pool a little bit more. But I just think because I don't want us to get to the end and it's like only like anime intros. I have nothing against anime intros. I've just never listened to them, so it's got to be like
we'll discuss with Webb. No, so we'll just be like, hey, like let's like.
I don't even think you have to argue with Justin. Will probably agree to that.
No, just do generic stuff, and I'm not saying like if you want to put Bach in there, I'm fine with that. But like put something in there that's like that we can understand and that is like has significant meaning.
That doesn't. I don't know. I disagree. Anime intros are as much music as anything else. I think we can come up with a clever way to be able to include that without.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I want something where people, when they watch this, they be okay. As opposed to saying like Webb says "Shugamalaka Hu" and it sings "Shugamalaka Ha," and no one knows that. So like, what is the point of doing that? That's my whole thing. I want something.
I don't get that analogy.
To be fair, Rob, just as a quick argument against that, like you could say it's the opening to Attack on Titan or Naruto, and make it pretty relatable for people who.
Yeah, but is Webb gonna? I also refuse to believe Webb says just because they make one opening for somebody that they're the best artist of all time. So.
Well, that's the. I think it'd be absolutely crazy to put that on the artist one, but for the songs one, I probably wouldn't do it either.
Well, songs is
songs
because it doesn't matter. But
yeah,
like,
I don't think they should pick for artists. Artists would be.
Hold on, what is this?
There's no way
you're talking about.
Who?
What'd you say?
What is this Naruto you're talking about?
Oh, here we go. Anyways,
fly to California.
Mason's trying so hard to keep a straight face. Naruto.
Ratatata.
I'm not worried about the artist show. I'm worried about the song show after we do the artist show. If Webb picks I know
that's what I'm saying, but I think the artist
I don't
show
think Justin.
It's unlikely. It's unlikely. But
Justin,
if you
likes music too much, you got to think about that.
Yeah,
Justin
I know.
Music.
I'm picking on Webb.
Doesn't ever agree with us though.
I'm picking on Webb because he's not here. But to Mason's point, remember we did a top 10 movie show, and Webb had 25 movies, or not? It was movies.
It's 17. Top 10. He literally had 17.
And no offense to
that's why we do the draft. He can't do that here.
Anything else I'm about to say though, Webb's going to put in an artist that I don't know. I guarantee it. That is the only because he's going to put in some Christian band music in there.
He might. You never know.
And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying I don't know. I know like
Switchfoot.
I bet if he put a Christian band in there, it's a band that's not like outwardly Christian with their music as much, and it's like a part of it. Like for example, Paramore, part of them started as kind of a Christian band, and they're like very religious when they got started, but they're not Christian music.
I was saying Webb's got a strange taste in music compared to the rest of us.
Hey Webb, if you're listening to this, Rob's saying go fuck yourself.
I didn't say that.
I'm kidding.
I think all we have to do is do something like we'll figure out the numbers, but I think we do the artist show. We have our pool of artists, and we say, okay, we can all pick, or from that band, maybe 2 songs can be picked. And then that opens it up a little bit more, so that if
it does, but it, like I said, it still would be really funny to be like, okay,
I like it just limiting it because Rob's
okay. How about this?
Mason's stuck with a band he's never heard of, and he's like, well, I mean,
yeah, but then his pick doesn't mean anything. Is kind of what I'm getting at. But how about this?
If you decouple them, I like doing 1 pick per artist.
Yes, right.
But if you couple them, I think it's too pigeonholed.
Let's not decide this now. Let's just wait until we have the list of artists and then say whether or not we think there's. If everybody ends up knowing all 25, then let's do it.
That's valid too.
God, it's gonna be so funny when one of y'all pick Nickelback, and I'm like, it's like comes to my pick, and I gotta pick a Nickelback song. And I pick like
I hope that happens. I really hope that happens.
I'm gonna pick like Three Doors Down, Nickelback, and like just the worst bands ever.
The worst '90s like alt rock bands ever.
Daughtry. Yeah.
Maybe I just don't like '90s rock that much.
Rob's naming all the artists that I love.
That's why I said Mason's probably the most rogue one of all of us. He's gonna pick some crazy shit.
It's not over. Yeah.
Goo Goo Dolls.
I listened to that like 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's a song.
That's funny. Well,
Goo Goo Dolls.
I think
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins. God, like 1 song from Smashing Pumpkins.
You definitely like more than that.
No, 2. Sorry, 1972, and then the one about placenta falls to the floor. What's that song called? Come on,
Bro, you
I think it's called A Miscarriage.
jeez.
God damn.
Jeez. What was that song called, Rob?
Let me I'll find out because I know
Lightning something.
I know what you're talking about. It's
Would I say 72? 1972? Is that what I said? It's 1979.
I think so.
If I said that, I'm just such an idiot.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
God, that's a good song, man. Oh my goodness, that's a good song. I don't remember the name of that other one. Anyway.
That's
So
not the
wait.
one. Anyways, okay. Regardless.
So wait, we skipped by the Daft Punk thing way too fast. I said one more time. Flick, what was yours?
There's a part of me that really wants to pick Giorgio because I just fucking love that song.
Giorgio.
But it probably is one more time. It's hard for it not to be.
It's just the goat. What
It's
about you,
so
Rob?
good.
You have a Daft Punk favorite? Or are you just not that much of a Daft Punk guy?
No, I love Daft Punk. I don't like if you tell me I had to pick a song by them. I mean, I hate saying this because this is probably
Was that
like
your idea?
it was my idea. But I'm saying, I mean, a song that just makes me like feel like if I'm going like your route, like where I just like get in a car and I want to listen to a song, like Get Lucky is pretty good.
Oh, I love that song.
Like, I mean, it is up there on,
Yeah.
but like if I don't think that's their best song, but I think that's probably like the song that makes me like, you know what I mean? Like I like get going and like be stupid in a car or whatever. Like I'd probably say Get Lucky, but if I think it's the best song, no.
Lucky. Yeah. No, I like that song a lot. What about you,
So-
Mason? Are you Daft Punked enough?
So for the best song by Daft Punk, I've got a 3-way tie.
What?
Webb.
Justin?
Between Stronger, One More Time, and Get Lucky.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stronger's
Okay, that's
also
respectable.
Stronger's awesome.
It is really good. It's not one of my top favorites for whatever reason. I think
I think that's so many good songs, dude.
Dude.
It's hard.
What's your favorite album? I mean, I feel like it's only between 2 albums, but
I don't even remember the names of those songs. Hold on.
I don't
I mean, the
remember the names of the albums,
name
to
of
be
the
honest.
albums.
Random Access Memories is like their last album.
Yes,
that
that
one-
one because I could listen to that one top to bottom. No, there's no skip on that on that entire album for me.
There's very few.
But the other
Discovery,
one-
obviously.
Discovery's also is phenomenal,
there's some
though.
songs I can skip there. I
Really?
can't do that for Ram.
Yeah,
Like one or two.
All right. Crescent Rolls, Night Vision, Superheroes.
Crescent
Highlights.
Dolls was really good. I really, yeah. I mean,
Face
they're
to Face.
ooh,
Ooh, I love
Discovery's
Face
so.
I know.
I could if you made me to pick,
Discovery's
I'd shoot myself.
what is that? The first 4 songs on Discovery are insanely good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're.
It's because it's like
Where's,
One More Time, Stronger. God, what's the next one? I'm trying.
So it's one more time. Aerodynamic, digital love.
Aerodynamics is such a good
so
song.
good.
And what was the other one, Rob?
Harder, better, faster, stronger is 4. Digital love's 3.
Digital Love's also a really good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Discovery probably. Can I just pull a Justin and say those probably tie for me?
I know,
I forgot.
I know.
I think Discovery probably trumps it, but not because I think the whole album is like if you just stack songs side by side and made it like battle it out in an arena. I think maybe Ram wins, but like One More Time is so heavy. It's just like a just gargantuan size heavyweight of a good song, and Aerodynamic is so good. Digital Love is so good. Crescent Doll is so good. Harder, Better, Faster, Strong. Obviously, like that's people love that song. God, it's got 301 million plays on YouTube Music. That's crazy. Woo!
that is
See,
crazy.
You know that's going to be the hard part of doing like a show like the artists and the songs is just like I'm going to want to talk about it. Like every one of these picks cuz man, you're talking about 25 total artists. It's going to be the goats of the goats of the goats of the goats. You know what I mean? Like even though there's 4 people picking them, there's just going to be such good. But there's probably it's probably relatively unlikely that one of us go, I don't like that. I don't like that band. Maybe if y'all really pick Nickelback or something in there, I'm like, I could leave that, but I don't
think
know.
it could happen if I'm curious if any country gets picked.
But well, yeah, I guess
I'm
that's
not a big country fan. I don't think Mason is either. I could be
Maybe
wrong
I
there.
like country, but I don't know that there are any artists in there that I could put in my like.
I couldn't put any in my top 5. Absolutely. There's a couple I could think of that are like I really like Zach Brown Band. I really like what's his name?
George
Chris
Strait.
Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton.
I like him.
Ah!
I do
See
like
that-
Chris, but I could put him in the top 5.
Chris
And
Stapleton.
those are the only 2 I could even put in my top 10.
Chris Stapleton. Oh my god, that
Like, I
guy.
listen to a lot of country. I've got playlists that are like 400 songs, but none of them are going to be my top 5. Not even
I
close.
don't think that any country will be in my top 5 artists either.
That's the only way I think we could potentially. But like I didn't think Mason listened to country. I'm
Mine's
just
going to be like all classic rock.
If I did this, yeah, I think
Like,
that's
I think
where
that's
we're
what
gonna
it's
have that's where we're gonna have a lot of like rub. But like,
I mean, like I hate saying this, but Jordan, like I feel like
You're the
Two-
odd one out.
2 of our top 3 artists are like probably the same, and like one of us is gonna get one of them. And actually, I don't know if we'll get any of them, to be honest. But at the same time,
yeah, I'm not really worried about it because I feel like I've got way more than I would be comfortable like. It would bother me a little bit that like if you got like first pick and you picked the Beatles, for example, which would be
I would never do
Great
that.
call.
maybe disingenuous, but it would be
It'd be
fine.
funny as fuck.
Oh,
It would be
I'm-
fun.
I'm going for blood this next time. I'm
That's
actually.
fine.
I'm telling
That's
you
fine.
right now.
Because I'll just be happy that they make the
I'm
list.
coming for all y'all motherfuckers.
Oh no, I'm picking
I think
Paramore. I'm picking
me-
Paramore.
Web would
Put your thumb down.
I'll fucking fight you. I think me, Rob, and Mason are going to have a lot of trouble. I think Jordan's actually going to be fine in this one because you
Jordan knows so
have
much
such
music.
a wide, eclectic taste in music, Jordan.
Buddy.
That like you'll be able to go off. I think me, Mason, and Rob are going to have some very similar picks.
Oh, buddy, I think you severely underestimate me.
You underestimate my power.
Yes.
What do you mean?
I think I have a lot. Like,
No. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm saying like the three of us, we're gonna snipe picks from each other that not on purpose. Like if we're sniping from Jordan, that's more than likely gonna be on purpose.
Oh,
I have a feeling. That's kind of what I mean.
I know my number one pick, and there's only one person I'm scared of picking it, and it's Jordan.
And it's John Mayer.
I mean, it is.
It's John Mayer.
But I'm just worried about you.
But picks 3 through 5 for us. I think the three of us will get in each other's way a little bit.
Did you say he's not in your top 5, Tyler?
No, I said he is.
Yeah. God, the guy is. Yeah. This is gonna be. It is gonna be really interesting. Once the let's say, it'll be interesting for me. I don't know. Me and Rob could overlap. Me and Rob very much could overlap. Like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it just, it's not like I won't have a pool of really tippy top artists that I really love. Like I'll feel comfortable picking from. It'll be like picking children. Like, am I really only gonna have that at the top? Like even, I don't know how to describe it. Like even the Beatles for me, like I really love the Beatles. And they probably are my top artists. But if I were to like sit here, not my top. They may be my top artists. They may not be my top artists. And if you told me I had to choose between them and like one of the other bands that I really love, then that's where I'm going to struggle. I might need to make a list before I come. Or otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting there like.
I might as well just do the show now at this point, as much as we've talked about it.
I know. I try not to use any names, so.
Well, I'm just
half this episode's been talking about our next episode.
I know we're building the suspense for folks. I think it's I don't know. This is really interesting to me. This is gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. I agree with that.
You know what we should do? I mean, we can pick like a top artist. It'd be funny to pick like our most listened to artist and see like how much that varies.
How do you do that? I wonder how I do that on.
I mean, I can just go to your Spotify Wrapped on 2023, and I can tell you my top 5 probably.
I don't do Spotify, so.
Well, I'm sure Apple does.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on my Spotify top 5.
Why?
Mine's crazy. Like I got mine last year's a crazy out of anime openings because I think I've told you guys this before. I use it like when I'm working. I'll just put it on as like background music kind of thing.
That's right.
So it's. Like I use that on Spotify more than anything else.
Well, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. I think mine. Let's see. Find your top tracks, artists from your channel page. WTF. Let's see. How do I do this? Channel. Sorry, I really want to know this. I have a channel.
I just feel like most people don't listen to their top artists the most. Like who they think is the greatest.
Well, I guess Flick makes a really good point about like work specific music.
That's true. I agree.
I guess
because that like no lyric stuff while you're working is freaking awesome.
What it? Dismiss. I don't know. I'll have to look this up, I guess. I'll have to figure out how to find. That's an interesting thing. We can all come with our most listened to thing.
I mean, Morgan Wallen was my most listened, and it wasn't even close.
Really?
Not even close.
I listened to a lot of Morgan Wallen last year. My artists on. So I see a thing here on YouTube Music. Artists on repeat, which is weird. John Mayer.
Did y'all hear about Morgan Wallen? Just like chucking the chair at the cops.
Just fucking eating a chair.
Yeah. Yeah. What a rock star. John Mayer, Kenny Chesney, Luke Combs, Dierks Bentley, and Old Dominion. But it's so weird. Like, I don't listen to Dierks Bentley at all.
How much is that? How much is that of like you listening with like your wife on the patio or something like while you're grilling? Like it's like background music.
No, I listen to Old Dominion all the time.
Well, I meant more.
Like, I'll go and like pick Old Dominion by myself.
That's fair. It's just the way you said that sentence that made me think of it.
I think they're terribly, terribly underrated as a band. I've seen them in concert twice now. And they're so good. But like, you know, John Mayer. It says I've had 2 hours of John Mayer, which these stats are jacked up. But then the rest of these are like in the 30-minute range. So, I don't know what this is really about. I guess this is probably like really, really recent, not like overall. So, y'all remember in iTunes back in the day, you had like that. You had your like. It would tell you how many times you played a particular song.
Yep.
Oh
And
yeah.
like that's like you could look at that. I think Semi-Charmed Life was like 2,000 or something, like just some absurd number on mine, because I think it synced up from your iPod too, right?
Yeah.
Didn't that number? God, what a time to be alive! I'm sorry, but music
iPods are so good.
Those
and like the
classic
way that
iPods,
we,
dude.
the way that we consumed music back then was just objectively better.
Oh, 100%.
It just, I don't like hate how it is now, but like just having the, I don't know.
I also listen,
It's too easy now. It just tells you what you like.
I also listen
Yeah.
to Sirius Radio all the time now.
Oh, I don't like radio like that. Because
My
if
dad
you
does
listen,
that
especially
too.
for like if you're sitting at home in the car, it's usually fine because car rides are really short. But
Well, he's in
if
car.
you're sitting
all
at
the
home,
time, so I get
I'm
why
in a car all the
he
time
does.
because like
But is
I just don't want to have to pick my own music when I'm
But-
riding down the interstate all the time.
but if
so.
you're in the car for a long period of time, my problem with like the top Sirius radios is this like classic radio where it's a top 10 and it just circles like every 30 or 40 minutes. It's you start to hear the same songs again. And
I've
again.
never experienced that.
Well, I mean, it's a thing.
Well,
They
I mean,
play
let me
the
phrase
hits.
it. Let me phrase it. I've only experienced that on like country, like on the highway. Like I experienced that on that, but besides that, like John Mayer Radio is the best radio station ever. By the way,
Yeah,
it plays.
those-
it is fantastic.
Those are fine.
Like 80s music, 90s music, like all like the decade musics. Those are all great stations.
Yeah. Well, those are different because those are not the hit radios or whatever.
Well, I don't listen to those. So I guess okay, so that makes sense then.
Well, okay. I think so. We got our ideas for the next show. We at least know we're gonna do the artist thing. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna do the songs after we have our list of artists. I think this was cool. We segued so hard on this. We just like we were going this direction and just we went NFL draft to.
That's the charm of the show. Of the show.
I freaking love it, man. It's just like we're gonna have to.
That's what we
we're
should
gonna have to
play.
do. I'm gonna do one of these episodes from the patio, and I'm gonna drink a beer, and we're gonna hang out on Saturday afternoon.
We should do a podcast that like we start somewhere and like just like what's the segue game called?
Oh, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, where you're like
Yeah,
playing movies with the artists.
Yeah, I think that would be fun for us to do.
We're gonna have a wheel of topics. We're gonna spin the wheel of topics, and then we have 2 topics, and we got to get from one to the other without unnaturally going and
Yep.
cutting over.
Yep, I think that'd be hilarious.
I think it's a dumb idea.
That's why it's perfect.
And on that bombshell, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I had fun. This is always a blast. I love this. Rob is really intently leaning in right now, in more ways than one. So anyway, love y'all. I'll see y'all later.
Like and subscribe and comment and like and then subscribe.
Go watch Mason eat a sandwich.
Yeah, we're gonna clip that.
And
All
then
right, see y'all later.
get on your family members' phones and subscribe
And-
on their phones.
And set it to notify when we upload a video.
Yeah.
All right, peace.